Burbank, California, November 1966. Walt Disney's private office. Bruce Lee walks in. He's been invited. Doesn't know why. Just got a call from Disney's assistant. Mr. Disney wants to meet you. Bruce is confused. He's done some acting. The Green Hornet is filming. But he's not famous. Not yet. Why does Walt Disney want to meet him? Walt is there, sitting behind his desk. He looks tired, thin, not the vigorous man from the TV shows. They shake hands. Walt's grip is weak. "Thank you for coming, Bruce. I've been wanting to meet you." "I'm honored, Mr. Disney, but I'm confused. Why me?" Walt smiles, sad smile. "Because I'm dying, and I need to tell you something before I go." Bruce is shocked. Walt Disney is dying? It's not public knowledge. The world doesn't know yet. What Walt tells Bruce in the next hour will haunt Bruce for the rest of his life. And Walt's final words, spoken 3 weeks later on his deathbed, will be about Bruce Lee. Let me tell you about the meeting that changed Bruce Lee's understanding of legacy. November 1966. Walt Disney is dying. Lung cancer. He knows he has weeks, maybe days. He's 65 years old. He's built an empire. Mickey Mouse, Disneyland, countless films. His name will live forever. But Walt is terrified. Not of death, of being forgotten, of his real self being erased by the myth. He's been thinking about legacy, about what remains when you're gone, about whether anyone will remember the real you or just the brand. Then he sees Bruce Lee on the Green Hornet, this young martial artist playing Kato. Something about Bruce strikes Walt. The way he moves, the intensity, the authenticity. Walt asks his assistant to arrange a meeting. Private. Just the two of them. Bruce arrives, nervous. Walt Disney is a legend. What could he possibly want with Bruce? Walt doesn't waste time. "I'm dying, Bruce. Lung cancer. I have a few weeks left, maybe less." Bruce doesn't know what to say. "I'm very sorry, Mr. Disney." "Don't be. I've had a good life. But I want to talk to you about something, about legacy, about what happens after we're gone." Walt explains his fear. "I've created this image, Walt Disney, the happy man who made magic. But that's not who I am. Not really. I'm difficult, demanding, sometimes cruel. I've hurt people, made enemies. But all anyone will remember is the smile and the mouse." Bruce listens, recognizing something in Walt's words. "You're young," Walt continues, "but you're building something. I can see it. You're not just an actor. You're creating something bigger, a philosophy, an approach, a legacy." "I don't know about that," Bruce says humbly. "I do. I recognize it, because I did the same thing. But here's what I learned too late. You can't control your legacy. Once you're gone, people make you into whatever they need you to be." Walt leans forward. "They'll take your philosophy and turn it into fortune cookie wisdom. They'll take your martial arts and turn it into movie tricks. They'll take your depth and flatten it into action hero mythology." Bruce feels uncomfortable. "What can I do about it?" "Nothing," Walt says. "That's my point. You can't control it, but you can make peace with it, accept that the myth will outlive the truth. And that's okay, because the myth serves a purpose too." Bruce processes this. "What purpose?" "Inspiration. The myth of Walt Disney, the happy creator who made magic. That myth inspires millions. Even if it's not accurate, even if it erases my flaws, it gives people something to believe in." Walt coughs, weak. "Your myth will do the same. Bruce Lee, the invincible martial artist, Bruce Lee who feared nothing, Bruce Lee who mastered everything. It won't be accurate, but it will inspire people, and that's worth something." "But what about the truth?" Bruce asks. "My real philosophy, my real teaching, my real struggles. Won't those be lost? Walt nods. Most of it, yes. But here's the secret. The people who need the truth will find it. They'll dig deeper. Look past the myth. Discover the real you. And for those people, the truth will be even more powerful because they worked to find it. Bruce sits with this, thinking about his own future, his own legacy. I'm scared, Bruce admits. Scared that people will only see the fights, miss the philosophy, turn me into entertainment instead of education. They will, Walt says simply. Most people will. But you can't live for most people. You live for the few who understand, who dig deeper, who see past the surface. Walt pulls out a paper, writes something down, hands it to Bruce. It says, "The myth serves the masses, the truth serves the seekers. Both are necessary. Make peace with both." Keep this, Walt says. When your myth starts to bury your truth, remember that both matter. The myth brings people in. The truth transforms those who stay. They talk for another 30 minutes. About creativity, about compromise, about the cost of success. Finally, Bruce stands to leave. Thank you, Mr. Disney, for your honesty, for your wisdom. Walt shakes his hand. Thank you for listening. Most people just want to talk at me. You actually heard. Bruce walks out, deeply affected. Walt Disney just shared his deepest fears about legacy, about being forgotten, about myth versus truth. 3 weeks later, December 15th, 1966, Walt Disney dies. His brother Roy is there, his wife Lillian, close family and friends. In his final hours, Walt is drifting in and out of consciousness, speaking fragments, names, memories. At one point, he opens his eyes, looks at Roy, says something that sounds like Bruce Lee. Roy is confused. What about Bruce Lee, Walt? Walt struggles to speak. Tell him, the myth matters, but the truth is for the seekers. Those are his last coherent words. He slips into unconsciousness, dies later that evening. Roy Disney is baffled. Bruce Lee? Walt's dying words are about Bruce Lee? He asks Walt's assistant. Did my brother meet Bruce Lee recently? The assistant confirms. Yes, 3 weeks ago. Private meeting. I don't know what they discussed. Roy tries to contact Bruce. Can't reach him. Bruce is filming, traveling. The message never gets through. If you love Bruce Lee stories, subscribe. I post rare stories every day. 1973. 7 years after Walt died, Bruce Lee dies. July 20th. He's 32 years old. He never knew Walt's final words were about him, never received Roy Disney's message. Bruce dies at the height of his fame. Enter the Dragon is about to release. He's finally achieved everything he wanted. And exactly as Walt predicted, the myth begins. Bruce Lee, the invincible. Bruce Lee who never lost. Bruce Lee, the superhuman. The truth, the philosophy, the struggles, the humanity, gets buried under the legend. 1998. A researcher is going through Walt Disney's archives, finds notes from November 1966, a meeting with Bruce Lee. Walt wrote, "Met Bruce Lee today, young martial artist, brilliant mind, terrified of being reduced to entertainment. I told him the truth. The myth will consume the man. But the myth serves a purpose. He understood. I hope he made peace with it." The researcher is shocked. Walt Disney met Bruce Lee 3 weeks before dying? She investigates further, finds Roy Disney's records, the attempted contact with Bruce, the final words. Tell him the myth matters, but the truth is for the seekers. She publishes the findings. Walt Disney's final words were about Bruce Lee. The story goes viral. Disney fans are stunned. Walt's last words were about a martial artist. Bruce Lee fans are moved. Walt Disney understood Bruce's fear of being mythologized? Scholars analyze the connection. Two legends, both struggling with the same issue. How do you maintain truth in the face of myth? Linda Lee Cadwell, Bruce's widow, reads the story. Tears streaming down her face. Bruce would have been so moved, she says. He struggled with this his whole life, being seen as an action hero instead of a philosopher. Walt understood and tried to give Bruce permission to accept both. Shannon Lee, Bruce's daughter, responds publicly. My father feared being reduced to kung fu movies. Walt Disney's words, the myth serves the masses, the truth serves the seekers. That's exactly what happened. Millions know the myth, but those who seek find the philosophy. The Disney Company is initially uncomfortable. Walt Disney's final words about someone outside the Disney universe, it doesn't fit the narrative. But then they embrace it. See the deeper story. Two creators, two legacies, both dealing with myth versus truth. 2019, Disney Plus launches. They create a documentary series about Walt's final years. Include the Bruce Lee meeting. Interview Linda and Shannon Lee. The episode is called The Myth and the Truth. It explores Walt's fear of being forgotten, his recognition of the same fear in Bruce, the final words, the wisdom both men tried to share. The episode wins awards, not for Disney mythology, for honest exploration of legacy, of how myths are created, of how truth survives despite myths. If you love Bruce Lee stories, subscribe. I post rare stories every day. Today, both men are myths. Walt Disney, the magical creator, Bruce Lee, the invincible warrior. But both myths serve a purpose. They inspire, they bring people in, and those who dig deeper find the truth. Walt Disney wasn't always kind. He was difficult, demanding, sometimes harsh, but he was also brilliant, creative, revolutionary. Bruce Lee wasn't invincible. He lost fights, struggled with injury, battled self-doubt. But he was also wise, philosophical, transformative. The myths matter, but the truth matters more, for those willing to seek it. Walt's final words to Bruce, delivered through Roy but never received, were prophetic. The myth brings people in. The truth transforms those who stay. Bruce never got the message, never knew Walt's final words were about him, but he lived the wisdom anyway. He built the myth through movies, shared the truth through teaching, trusted that seekers would find what they needed, and they did. Millions know Bruce Lee, the action star. Thousands understand Bruce Lee, the philosopher. Both matter, both serve. That's the lesson. Don't fight the myth. Accept it, use it, let it bring people in. Then give the truth to those who dig deeper. Walt understood this in his final days, tried to share it with Bruce. Bruce never received the message directly, but lived it anyway. Two legends, same struggle, same wisdom, both teaching us that legacy is dual, the myth for the masses, the truth for the seekers. And if you're reading this, seeking this, understanding this, you're one of the seekers. The myth brought you here. The truth keeps you here. That's what Walt tried to tell Bruce. That's what Bruce lived without knowing Walt tried to tell him. The myth matters, but the truth is for you.